In this video, I will showcase how Atomic Habits has helped me create and maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Okay, girl.
Tell me why you like me, baby.
나도 알고 싶다고.
Tell me why you like me, baby.
지금 알고 싶다고.
Tell me why you like me, baby.
난 네 맘 알고 싶다고.
Tell me why you like me, baby.
The last couple weeks have been busy for me. I've been taking on a lot more shifts, going out of town, and I've had trouble keeping up with my YouTube videos and other activities that I enjoy. After a weekend out of town, I decided to read Atomic Habits before my shift on Monday, and it turns out I had 2 chapters left, so I decided to finish the book. There are so many great concepts and advice and lessons to be learned in this book. I highly recommend reading this. There's no doubt this ideology will change your life. Atomic Habits is separated into 4 parts, or what they like to say, laws. There are 4 laws in total. Make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Atomic Habits is structured in a way to help you understand the baby step process of creating habits. The first step is to become self-aware of habits that you want to develop, enhance, or change. When you set cues for yourself, it's easier to become more aware and follow through with the action. I'm about to pick up my workout gear, but I thought I wanted to bring this up because it is a pretty good tip. So as you can see, here's my closet. I wanted to show you that I usually put my workout leggings and my workout gears in the front. So as you can see over here, these are where I keep my leggings. And then here, there's a second pile. It's where I keep my sweatpants as well. I also keep my shirts, my workout shirts in the front, just to keep it a little bit easier. I do have an option to use all these sweaters, which is really nice. I just thought that was an interesting but useful tip because I've been working out for years and this is already a habit for me, but I think for a beginner or for someone who's still trying to motivate themselves, keeping your workout gear or giving yourself cues will make things easier in the long run. It's just so much easier to grab and go and focus on acting versus planning. If I'm planning on what to wear at the gym, that will take up at least 10 minutes of my time. I know myself. I don't know, I thought it's a good way to set yourself up for success, especially when you're giving yourself cues and making the actions easier for you. It makes it a lot more smoother to follow along.
You were with the 1975. Now I listen and think about getting high in your bedroom, windows open. Mom is home, but we're still smoking. You were with the 1975. Now I listen and cry, 'cause you sang we share friends in Soho. Why you told me that none of your friends knew. And I hated you goodbye, but it's been 2 years now, and I really just hate you.
In Atomic Habits, they're talking about how our behaviors are not always defined by our environments. So for example, they said one girl reads on a couch for an hour every night versus a guy who eats ice cream and watches TV on the same couch. Think in terms of how you interact with the spaces around you. Me, I'm grateful that any gym can be my home. I worked out at my university gym, I worked out at LA Fitness, Fit for Less, and obviously Good Life right now. And I'm so fortunate that every club I've been to feels like home. The gym has always been one of my favorite places on earth. It was never like that, especially in the beginning. I remember the first gym I went to was Good Life Fitness, and it was a co-ed gym, and it was huge. And I would always just stay in the women's section because I was not comfortable. I would be on the elliptical for an hour. But then as I slowly started to explore the world of fitness and get comfortable in my body and be confident in what I'm doing, I started to feel more confident to go into the free weight section in my university gym, which is very intimidating. It's my me time is what I like to say to everyone. And to add on that, since I do work at Good Life right now, at my specific gym, I feel very confident because over the month I've been working there, I've been working really friggin' hard. In the beginning, it was very intimidating, it was hard when I got a new manager. That's when things really started to flip on me and it made me really anxious to go into work. But with proper training and applying feedback, I became more confident, which then transfers over to when I'm working out at my gym or at my club, because I feel like I helped build this community and I helped other women feel confident in themselves and change their lives for the better. So it makes me feel good whenever I'm at that specific gym. I feel like I own that place. So whenever I work out, I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, you know, especially since I got a personal trainer. Like I am not afraid to use all the equipment, the free weights, squat rack. Like I feel really good in there. However, obviously that's my own experience, is because I work at that specific club. If you're still getting into the habit of working out, make sure you find a gym that's comfortable to you, that makes you feel safe. It could be in your basement, it could be in a women's gym or in the women's section of a co-ed gym. At first it is very hard. It's gonna feel weird. You're gonna feel really awkward. It's like when you're working out in your room and your mom or your family member comes in and you're like doing an ab workout and you feel really embarrassed. I don't know why, but it's like that feeling in the very beginning when you're working out. And to add on to that, it is best to separate your spaces or your environments. So when COVID first started and we started working from home, I used my room as an office, a bedroom, and a gym, and it was not good for me. I was always half-assing my workouts, and I didn't really have that place to separate these habits or these behaviors, so it got really hard. So it's best to separate your spaces and separate your habits and behaviors so that you actually feel present in that moment and you're focusing on that one habit.
Have you ever been punched in your motherfucking face? What you say? Oh, you have it? Alright, wait. Bitch, 2-4 baby king, fucking me. I am here.
The idea of the second law is to make habits attractive. You desire taking action. This law is my favorite because it gives you so much more insight to motivate yourself strategically. It also teaches self-compassion. Everyone goes through a burnout and plateaus. There are so many obstacles and challenges that cross our paths. It makes me feel less guilty and hopeless when I recognize that there's always a way back out of the rut.
Nigga acting like Ruby, huh? Little bitch, she wanna get mad cause I keep on looking all in her boobie, huh? I got the furniture options, my U-Haul moving, coochie to coochie.
One of the most interesting things I've learned in this book is the dopamine feedback loop. The dopamine is released when we experience pleasure or anticipation. When you associate the feeling with action, it makes the likelihood of a habit sticking. So for example, I find it easy, recently at least, to go to the gym because I know it will make me feel good. The anticipation of building a bigger booty while listening to music is de-stressing, it's fun, and it's exciting to me. I love listening to my Spotify playlist while lifting, and the anticipation of seeing my booty grow makes me excited every leg day.
Fucking face. What you say? Oh, you have it? Alright, wait. Bitch, I want the fade. I want the fade. Give me my fade. I want the fade. I need the fade. I need my. We got a fade. Have you ever been punched in your motherfucking face? What you say? Oh, you have it? Alright, wait. Bitch, I want the fade. I want the fade. Give me my fade. I want the fade. I need the fade. I need my. We got a fade. Give me my fade. Fade. We got a fade. Fade. Give me my fade. I want the fade.
To add on to that, since I'm working out and one of my goals is to build bigger muscles and become more lean, I do need to increase my protein intake. One of the treats I have are my vegan protein shakes. When I did a little Popeyes haul, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it was pretty expensive, but I definitely think it's worth the investment, especially if you're doing this to achieve your goals. It all goes into a cycle of you eating good, you feeling good, and you looking good, and you just want to continue that. slowly but never walk backward. The third law is basically the hard truth of creating habits. You have to put in the work. The hardest part about creating positive habits and a healthy lifestyle is that you have to make the decisions and follow through the necessary actions. A good example of this is me creating a to-do list of what I want to do throughout the week. It's one thing to have not enough time or have something come up during the day that disrupts the plans, but it's another to consciously dismiss a task on my to-do list. Our plans turn into actions, which turn into habits, which then defines our identity. When we take action, it changes us. It changes the mindset, our physical capabilities, our attitude, and most importantly, our daily experiences. That's how it defines our identity. If we merely stand by and keep making plans, we waste time and opportunity to progress in self-improvement. For example, I can watch TikToks about being that girl and living a healthy lifestyle, but it doesn't mean much if I don't take action to act and apply that to my day. Another interesting fact I've learned from Atomic Habits is the relationship between repetition and habits. Habits are based on frequency and not time. This is similar to the concept of neuroplasticity. The more you repeat an action, thought, or way of thinking, your brain starts to create a neural pathway for that. For example, the more I believe I'm good enough, smart, healthy, the more active those synaptic connections will be. It's sort of like going through high school for the first time. On the first day, it's difficult to navigate your way around the building, but after following a repeated routine, every emotion is automatic. You don't have to think, you just do. And that's how you create habits. It doesn't matter the quality of the action, but how often we do it. The fourth law is to make the habit satisfying. The primary reason why we purchase self-help books, partake in self-care activities, or even care to improve ourselves is because it feels good. It feels good mentally, physically, and emotionally. It feels good to identify ourselves a certain way. This has something to do with the hormone called dopamine. Dopamine is one of the 4 hormones that control our everyday experiences, thoughts, and actions. When we partake in action or behavior that makes us feel good, we are more likely to repeat it. Pleasure teaches our brain that a behavior is worth remembering and repeating. As you know, there are 2 types of rewards that motivate us to act. One is the immediate, our actions instantly delivers a clear and immediate outcome, and the second is delayed. You can work your way for years before your actions deliver the intended payoff. The most rewarding or positive habits are likely the delayed reward. That's why it's so hard to stay motivated. The more immediate pleasure you get from action, the more strongly you should question whether it aligns with your long-term goals. They can be essential. They keep us excited while the delayed rewards accumulate in the background. It can be used as reinforcement. It goes back to the concept of treating myself to protein or good food. For me, I want to continue waking up and getting out of bed early so I can feel productive and get things done before work. Eventually, as intrinsic rewards like a better mood, more energy, and reduced stress kicks in, you'll become less concerned with chasing the secondary reward. Identity itself becomes the reinforcer. You do it because it's who you are and it feels good to be you. The last law is basically the maintenance stage of a habit. We congratulate ourselves for the hard work, and we continue to congratulate ourselves by recognizing how far we've come. It doesn't stop there though. We have to continue to strive for better by pushing the limits a little whenever we get too comfortable. There's always room for self-improvement.